Welcome back to yet another term in government. I'm very much sure that this is going to be our very last one though. One way or another, we're going to get kicked out, or we might not even make it out into the next polls, because this is probably, no joke, our 6th failed assassination attempt that some religious extremists have tried on us, which is quite sad that they hate us that much, because after all we are really doing is just improving education of people. Haven't really been that much against religion. They can have freedom of religion as much as they want, just not in public schools, etc. But there's also a stress epidemic. Doctors have warned that our businesses are working people too hard, which is leading to dangerously high levels of stress for people with full-time jobs. There are calls for limits on the hours that people work to be better enforced by central government. Alright, so we're going to have to try to do something about that, but what we're going to have to do mostly is do something about the GDP, because it is ridiculous. We've also got the deficit of $35 billion, and I'm assuming our polls are going to be going way down. I'm not really sure why, but the game does seem to be lagging up a little bit, as you might be able to tell, which is kind of weird. I'm not exactly sure why that's happening, but it doesn't really matter all that much. So what we've got to do is cut down on that deficit quite a bit. This episode is going to be pretty much filled with austerity measures, and which I'm assuming will cause the people to hate us, but it's got to be done. So let's have a look at what we can cut. So we should drastically cut the health services, state schools. I mean, in times like this, we're going to have to get rid of the child benefits scheme, which is quite sad though, because look how popular it is with the people. But I'm just going to cancel it, which will give us an extra $13 billion. Very nice. What's alcohol abuse? Ah, okay. So it's not a policy, but it actually costs us money, I guess, because the health services need to pay for the bastardly drunkards. What else do we have over here? This is down to $1 billion each. So technology, colleges, CCTV, cameras, biofuel subsidies, foreign aid. That's a favorite of government to cut. We're not even really doing all that much with the foreign aid, so I'm just going to cut that completely as well. Seems like it definitely is a favorite of government, so to cut that as soon as, well, an election's coming around and they need to make their budgets look very nice and dandy. After all, foreign voters don't vote for you in most nations. That is pretty much every nation. Although in Australia's got a lot of expats in, I think, Singapore. They took out a massive, maybe if you guys are in Australia, maybe you would have seen this, but the Labor Party took out a massive billboard in the middle of Singapore, advertising themselves for the Australian election, which is kind of weird because it's a foreign city-state, I guess you'd say. Anyways, let's have a look. Road building. Okay, so I'm thinking about the space program, but see, in real life, I hate when governments do petty shit like that, and I don't even have enough political capital, so I'm gonna have to cancel all this anyway. But science funding is one of the earliest to go as well, when governments cut funds to certain things, and unfortunately, science is more of a long-term thing, and it relies on long-term money. Religious plots. Okay. Religious plots can keep on screwing us over. What are we now? Triple B. There you go. Not sure if that's actually a boob size or not, but we'll go with it. Triple B credit rating. It's definitely dropping down. But aren't credit ratings in relation to like other nations' credit ratings? And if the global economy is on the downturn, then other nations' economies must also be going down with their credit rating. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how it works. Because you could have no nation that's AAA, but ultimately it means nothing, because then whatever nation's AA plus will just be the nation to take credit from, etc. Anyways, what are we doing now? Economic forecasts. It's not looking good, is it? Unfortunately not. And our polls. See, I'm not going to be able to do anything about this. Like, I don't see what I'll be able to do about it, because I need to cut down on our deficit one way or another. Although the global economy, it is the light blue, or aqua blue more rather, it's not going up. At least this turn, maybe next turn it'll drastically fall back down or something. I'm not really sure why it's lagging so much, but it's just the game. I'm not quite sure why that is. We also have a technological advantage, there you go, which improves our productivity quite a bit. It's also nice. Let's go back to expenditure. I'm going to have to cut down on military spending. There we go. I'm actually tempted. Here we go. Others, especially patriots, would argue that you cannot put a price on freedom and security, and also point out the huge benefits for our businesses, technology, and employment figures. You know what? I'm really tempted to cancel this policy, although you're not allowed to cancel military spending. Alright, well, we'll just make America defend us for when time comes, but if they want to set up bases around in Australia, they're more than welcome to. See, Australia is one of the most strategically placed, or best strategically placed allies of America, because we're literally on the other side of the world. We're a nation in the Anglosphere. We have pretty much the exact same values. And yeah, we're a democracy as well. Even though unfortunately democracies seem to be falling apart pretty much all over the world, and the West doesn't seem to be doing much about it. You guys might, I guess, if you're in Australia, you might have heard about what's happening in Thailand, which is quite sad. Not a murmur from the Australian government, nor America, because Obama was in Thailand last year, I think it was. Maybe late 2012, I think it was last year though. And he definitely paid them a bit of lip service about the great democracies that they've become since their last military coup, which was only like 6 years ago or so. Not even, I don't think. Anyways, let's apply these changes for a ceremonial military. And that should help us out a bit. I'm going to go over into the next turn again. We don't really have any more of those special things. Quite a little what? Oh, shoot. Today is a dark day for democracy, as a group of religious extremists calling themselves Crusaders of the Lord succeeded in assassinating the democratically elected ruler of this country. A combined attack involving half a dozen gunmen and a powerful car bomb overwhelmed our security services at a recent public speaking event. 12 people died, including you. Game over. Well, that definitely hurt me. What you can do though, unfortunately this episode's clearly going to be quite short. What we can do is, must have already finished this game 3 times, but all the times we have been leaning in the middle of the liberal conservative spectrum, more closer to liberal, but we've been rather socialist in comparison to capitalists. What's our last? Can we actually check what we've been last? No. I wish there was a date. Hopefully that comes out in a patch, but you can actually. What were those little numbers that we saw before just then? When I was moving my mouse. Hello? There we go. 29th of the 11th, 17th of the 12th. What's this? This is when I started it? This is 2014. Actually, this is a game saver, I think. I don't know. Either way, they're pretty much all the same. We're just, one is closer to the socialism spectrum and the others are closer to the middle. But those are semantics. Semantics. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that little Let's Play. It was definitely never going to be the largest one, but I definitely enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys did as well. There seemed to be an option for mods, so maybe I'll check that out. But until next time, there's a couple more games finally starting to come out now, so I'll get on top of that. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode of Democracy 3 and the Let's Play in general.